Yes, welcome back. Still on the arteries. So we have said that we have different arteries. There is one called pulmonary artery. And where or what does pulmonary artery do? We have seen that pulmonary artery connects the lungs and the heart. So it carries the oxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs for oxygenation. So when the blood reaches the lungs, it drops carbon dioxide, but picks what? Oxygen. That is pulmonary artery. Now, adaptations of arteries. We have seen arteries have thick muscular wall. And why is this one important? This one is important in that it helps in resisting the high blood pressure inside the arteries. Otherwise, the arteries can break if their walls are not thick. The pressure from the heart is normally too high. Now, another one is that they are smooth. They have smooth endothelium. Don't say they have smooth walls. That is wrong. They have smooth endothelium. Endothelium is the innermost layer of the artery wall. So why is the endothelium smooth? The endothelium is smooth to reduce friction. What we call, it offers least resistance to blood. As the blood is moving through the arteries, the walls are very smooth, so there is no friction, least resistance. So this one shows that there is smooth flow of blood without any resistance. Now again, another adaptation of the arteries is that they have the ability to alter the diameter of their lumen to regulate blood flow to the body organs. I want to explain this. That they have the ability to alter their diameter. Now, let me say this one is the part of the body. Now, let me say this is the artery. This one is also another artery. So this is artery A, artery B. The arteries can alter. What are we saying? They can change the diameter of their lumen. This one is the lumen. The arteries can expand the lumen or constrict. Now, this one we call it dilation. When the arteries increases their diameter, we call it dilation, vasodilation. Why do they dilate? They dilate to allow more blood to pass through them. And sometimes less blood is required in a given area or a given part of the body. So what will happen? How can arteries reduce blood supply to a given organ? If, for example, there is an organ here, and this organ required more blood, then there will be what is called vasodilation. The dilation will take place. The wall of the artery, the lumen, the diameter will increase to allow more blood to flow through it so that more blood can reach a certain organ which requires large supply of blood. But what about if this organ now requires less blood? If this organ A now requires less blood, what will happen? The artery must now readjust so that it can allow just a small amount of blood to pass through. It will undergo constriction. It will undergo constriction, which is you can translate to contract. It can contract. So the diameter will decrease so that less blood can flow through it, and that way the amount of blood reaching organ A will be reduced. So they have that ability. So artery wall has 3 layers. We have seen that. But just a recap of the adaptation, they have thick muscular walls. You must state the reason why they are thick and muscular. 2, smooth endothelium. That's another characteristic. And then they have ability to alter their diameter. Now, artery wall has 3 layers. The first layer we have said is endothelium. This is the innermost layer and is composed of a single layer of cells. Composed of a single layer of cells. So that endothelium is made up of a single layer of cells, very thin and innermost. Then we have the middle layer. Now this middle layer is composed of elastic fibers and smooth muscles. So why elastic? So that it can constrict and relax, dilate and constrict. It can expand and relax to allow blood to pass through. Then we have the outer layer. So the outer layer of the arteries are made up of inelastic collagen fibers. This is the layer which does not stretch. So when, remember, the arteries receives blood from the heart, and when ventricles contract, the way we saw last time, the muscular walls of the arteries must relax, stretching outwards to allow the blood into the arteries. So they expand as the ventricles pushes the blood into them. So when ventricles relax, the muscular layer contracts, pressing inwards, forcing the blood to flow forward. In this process there is pulsating action. I want to explain that pulsating action. Pulsating, pulse. How do pulse come about? If this is the heart, let's say this is the ventricle. When the ventricle contracts, what will happen? The blood is pushed into the artery. So what must the artery do for the blood to come in? The artery, this part will relax, and blood will come in. When the ventricles relax, this artery must contract. So you see, as the ventricles contract, the arteries relax. When the ventricle relaxes, the artery contracts. So the blood in the arteries does not flow smoothly. The blood in the arteries flow in pulses. Pop, pop, pop. It does not flow smoothly. So that pulsating action is brought about by the walls of the arteries as they contract and relax, pushing the blood forward. So the artery muscles are under the control of the nervous system and the hormonal system. The nerves normally control how fast the walls of the artery contract and relax. That is why when you are in danger, you start to hear your heartbeat. You are annoyed, you want to fight, heartbeat increases. Why? The body requires a lot of oxygen for production of energy. And energy requires what? Oxygen. What transports that oxygen? The blood. So when you are annoyed, you want to fight, the body prepares itself by ensuring that the heart pumps a lot of blood, which is carrying oxygen to your muscles. A lot of energy will be formed, which will help you to resist or to defend yourself. That is a survival one of the survival way of organisms. So the arteries, their rhythm, whether they contract and relax at a higher rate or at a slower rate, producing faster heartbeat or slower heartbeat, is controlled by the nerves, nervous system, and their hormones. So next time we are going to look at the capillaries. Next time we look at the capillaries. For now, what we have done is enough, and let us meet in the Google Classroom. I will give you some assignment to attend. Thank you for listening, and let's meet next time.